Hey everyone, let me know if you can hear me at all. I think there is a minute or two delay between the actual live video and what you guys are seeing. So I'm just going to wait a few more minutes for everyone else to get here, and then we'll go ahead and start. Hey everyone, let me know if you can hear me at all. Cool. I know that, let's see, it looks like there's 7 of you on Crowdcast, and I know that there's quite a few of you guys on the YouTube video. So if you want to be part of the chat and all that good stuff, there is a link to the Crowdcast chat room area in the down bar. So if you want to talk, head over there. If not, you can just stay put. And before we start, if you guys have any questions at all, right below the video, there's an area to ask questions. Ask them down there so that way I see them. And we're going to do a question and answer thing at the end. And I'll also be reviewing some of your websites or blogs. So if you want yours kind of reviewed live, let me know and we can do that as well. We'll just give it another minute. So if you guys want to, right now would be a good time to go grab a drink or run to the bathroom. This is probably going to run about an hour. There will be a recording though, so if you have to leave early or whatever, right after this video, you'll get an email with the recording, or you can return to this page at any time to rewatch it. Okay, so we will go ahead and start. Looks like a lot of you guys are on YouTube. So like I said before, if you're on YouTube and you want to join in with the chat, click on the Crowdcast link below and you can join in. But we'll go ahead and start. People can catch up once they get here. All right, so let me switch my screen over really quick. And I will let you guys hopefully see my face. Can you guys see my face? There's a pretty big delay on the actual video and my screen, so I'm hoping you guys can see my face right now. But I'm Nora. I'm from noraconrad.com. That's where I blog and do website things, and I just saw my face pop up, so that's kind of awkward. So yeah, I am going to talk to you guys today about my consulting process. So when I have clients that I do business consulting with, I'm going to kind of show you guys step by step how I go through that process. Okay, so I kind of talked about a lot of this in the blog post. So we're not really going to go through everything I already typed out, but we're going to go more in depth into each of those parts. So if you haven't read the blog post and you're totally confused, go read that and you can come back to this video later. And if you have read the blog post, great. If you don't want to read it, that's fine. All right, so first I just want to talk pretty briefly about actually finding clients, because everyone is kind of different. If you are just starting out, one of the best ways to kind of find people to work with is just through word of mouth. Talk to your friends and your family. Talk to business people in the area. If there's lots of small businesses near you, just go in and talk to the manager. Just ask them what they need help with, what problems they need solving, and start there. That's honestly the best way to just get your name out there. Your friends and family can be some of the best resources for you. Some other options are things like Facebook groups, Twitter chats, guest posting on sites that kind of have to do with what you are doing. So if you are a brand designer, you would want to guest post on other designers' sites, obviously with their permission, and promote your new services and things like that. One of the most important things you want to do just to start out is build a mailing list. I have a blog post about this as well, so if you have no idea where to start there. But you really want to start collecting emails. Anytime that someone actually allows you to have their email, that's a good thing. They're trusting you to be in their inbox, the place where they spend most of their time online, and actually communicate with them. So that way, when you start a new service or when you have a sale on your service or discounts, you can email those people who are already interested in what you have to say, and those people can easily be turned into customers. But also keep in mind that you don't want to be selling to those people 24/7. No one wants to go into their email and be sold to every single day. So also provide a ton of great content. Even if you don't have a blog, use your email list as a blog post. So just give them good content, and that's one of the best ways to start finding clients and finding people who are interested in what you're doing. Okay, so there are 4 tools that we're going to talk about today. All of them are online, and 3 of them are free. 1 of them is not. So I'm going to start with 17 Hats. What that is a client management system, basically, but you can do so much more in there. So I'm going to start with that because it's not free, and we're just going to get that one out of the way. So let me switch over to my screen, and I will show you guys this thing first. Okay, so we talked about finding clients. 17 Hats. It is a website where you can manage all of your clients, all your contacts. You can email them. You can do your bookkeeping through them. You can manage workflows, which is the best thing ever, and I'll show you why. You can do questionnaires, invoicing, contracts, estimates. Pretty much anything having to do with working with clients, you can do in 17 Hats. So let's switch over, and I'm going to actually show you my 17 Hats account. Let's see. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to figure out. I have way too many windows open here. All right, so let's jump into 17 Hats. Right now, mine is still. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Present to everyone. Okay, there we go. So I'm still doing the trial because I actually switched accounts. My other account just had too much crap in it, and I just wanted to start fresh. But that's okay because I'm going to start by showing you the pricing. The cheapest way to do this is with a 2-year plan that adds up to $12 per month. It's $269 for 2 years total. That can be a pretty steep investment, especially if you're just starting out. So I actually use the monthly plan, which is $29 a month. But but you don't really need any other tools besides 17 Hats. So I think it's totally worth it. If you're just starting out, you might want to wait, but you do get a free trial. So if you just want to mess around in here, just sign up for a free trial. There is a referral program, so you can have people sign up with your discount code, and you can share your discount code and you get free months. So if you guys are interested in this, let me know and I can send you my referral code. I think you get, is it a coupon off? I don't remember. Either way, so let's just kind of go through this really quickly. This is all in the blog post, like I said, so if you need more help with this, check that out. Let me double check and make sure you guys can see me. Okay, good. Okay, so this is your overview. This just kind of shows you everything that's going on. It shows your next 3 days. This is where any tasks that are coming up right now will be. You have all your contacts, leads, individual projects. You have your calendar, which you can sync with your Google Calendar, which I love. To-do list, I don't really use this very much. But invoicing, workflow, and bookkeeping is where we're going to focus today. Because this is a newer account, I don't have a lot of examples in here to show you guys, but we're going to work with it. So the first thing that you'll want to do when you make an account is to go up here and click on Account Settings. And you're going to want to create, create some templates. You can make templates for emails, for quotes, contracts, invoices, and questionnaires. But the most important thing that you'll want to do with these is create a workflow out of them. So, for example, we'll just show you one. Squarespace migration. This is when I move someone from whatever website they're on now to Squarespace, usually WordPress to Squarespace. So this is my workflow. It only has 3 steps in it right now because that's really all I need. But what you can do is add different tasks and actions to the workflow, and you can completely automate everything. So I'm just going to show you a quick example. We'll just make myself example. So what you'll do is under the leads, you can create a lead capture form. And I talk about this in the blog post, but basically someone can fill out their form and all of their information will automatically be added to the leads contact area. So once they do that, you'll have a little notification and you can come in here and create a new project for them. We'll just name this test project. Once you have a project set up, you can activate a workflow. You can do things individually, so if you don't want to set up workflows, that's fine. You can send them questionnaires, quotes, all that good stuff. But workflows just make it so much easier and much more consistent. So I'm going to choose the Squarespace migration workflow, and let's say the base date is today. Normally, my base date would be when they need their project done, but we'll just ignore that for now. So once you activate a workflow, you can either automate this. So if you activate a workflow, you could have the questionnaire sent automatically to this person, or you can set it where you have to review each item before you automatically send it. So I have it set to review just to make sure that each one is personalized. And the first step in the workflow is a questionnaire. This gives me an idea of the best way to communicate with them, why they want to switch. I can look at their current website to get an idea of how many pages they have and all that good stuff. And that's kind of how I get their first initial ideas. When you click on Send Questionnaire, it also comes up with an email. So this was an email template that I made. And you can choose from a ton of different templates. So once you have all of this set up, it's only a couple buttons that you have to click each time with each of your clients. And this is great if you have like 12 client requests a day, then you don't have to type 12 emails to someone or fill out 12 questionnaires for someone. It's just 12 steps like this, which is much simpler and much easier to do. So that's basically what workflows are. I go through step by step showing you how to set this up in the blog post. So I'm not going to do that right now because that would take a while. But this is just extremely helpful. The busier you get, the more you're going to love this. and it's so easy to customize everything. You can add your logo, your color scheme, all that good stuff to 17 Hats. Another great thing I love about 17 Hats is that you can invoice through here. You can set up a PayPal or Stripe account. I use Stripe just because that's what Squarespace works through. And you can send customers invoices. We can't do this because I don't have any active projects right now, but the customer can pay directly from this invoice. So they can just pay with their credit card and you get their payment and you have a signed contract and all that stuff all within this one system. It makes it super easy to keep track of projects. All of your work is automatically added to your calendar, and it just saves you a ton of time, ton of stress, and all that good stuff. So that's kind of 17 Hats. If you guys want more in-depth reviews and tutorials on those, let me know. I can do like a YouTube series on that. But I know a lot of you guys are probably just starting out, so I don't want to go like crazy in depth with that. Just because it is a paid thing. It's kind of expensive if you're brand new, and if you don't need it, obviously you don't want to watch all this. Okay, so now we're going to talk about, let's see, we'll do MailChimp. MailChimp is free up to, I think, 2,000 emails. So for most of you guys, you don't have to pay a dime to use MailChimp, and it is a fantastic tool. Like I said before, building your email list is the most important step you can take in growing your business. Just having an email list will completely change the way that your business works. So that's why MailChimp is a great solution. So let's switch over, and I will kind of give you a quick tour. I do have a lot of MailChimp videos, and like I said, I have a blog post that has to do with MailChimp. So if you guys need any help with that, I'll link to that in the chat box and down below if you're watching this later. Okay, so here's my MailChimp account. The email that you got that took you to this webinar was sent from MailChimp. Let's see, let's open up a campaign. So when I start with a client, it always starts with an email. I have a list for all of my potential and past clients. I'm not going to show you it just because there's names and stuff on there, but by creating a client list like that, I can send them updates on different like free stuff that might have to do with their services that they got. I have a place where their emails are always stored, and if I have a service that might be helpful to them later on, I can do that. But the most important thing here is that I can send them scheduled posts. So if you've ever worked with me in the past, you get a monthly newsletter just telling you a little bit about my current services and changes I've made, any services I have now that might be helpful to them later, and all of that good stuff. I also use a different email list for every webinar. So for this webinar, I have an email list built, which I used through Setmore, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And that way you guys could get an automated email about this webinar, and that way I could send you guys all a link to the webinar. So, whoa, sorry. Google Hangouts does weird things when you share screens. Okay, so using MailChimp just to build your actual client list is fantastic, but once you have those clients, you don't want to just stop talking to them after you're done. Even if it's just a consultation, like I have clients that I only had a 30-minute talk with, but I still add them to that list because there's other resources that I send. I send free downloads, free worksheets, stuff like that all the time to those people. And it just kind of keeps them in, or keeps me in their brain. So if they ever need more help with stuff, if they need services that I offer, I'm in their email every once in a while, and I kind of stay on their mind that way. And if someone is ever totally done with me or they hated working with me, they can easily unsubscribe too. And I always ask their permission before I add their email to that newsletter. You don't want to be adding people who don't want to ever hear from you again. But that's a good way to kind of keep in touch with those clients. And it's a good way to set up free courses like this one or free webinars through this other tool that I'm going to talk about now. This tool is called Setmore Scheduler, I think is the full name. It's free to use. Again, you can have a paid version of it, but the free version I've been using forever and it works fantastic. Now, with the free version, you can connect your MailChimp, but you can't connect your Google Calendar. So the way I kind of get around that is just adding it to my Google Calendar myself. I do that anyway because then in 17 Hats it shows up on my calendar. So it's kind of a pain if you want all of your calendar stuff automated, but if you don't really need that or you can do it yourself, Setmore is a great option. I know some people use Calendly too. I think that's what it's called. So if you go to setmore.com, you can sign up, and the first screen that you'll come into it'll look like this. This is your calendar. It shows you all of the meetings that you have coming up and all of the events that you have going on. So I cleared out this month. I'm kind of weird. I like to delete old events and stuff, but so you can see this one right here. It's really nice because you can have a list of customers. You can edit your business hours. So if you only want to meet with people during certain times, that's where you're going to do it. You can update policies. So if you don't want people to cancel more than 24 hours in advance, wow, this is loading slow. There we go. If you don't want people to be able to cancel like really far in advance, you would want to put that information here. You can add like what time slots will be shown. You can add what information you want from them. So if you meet people in person, you'll want to have their address. You can also add custom fields. So I want to see people's website because that's usually what I'm consulting them on. So yeah, this is super flexible. You can do a ton of stuff with it. My favorite though is the customization. Let's open a new page here. Here it is. And I'm going to show you my Setmore page because this was completely customized through Setmore on the free service. So you can see I have my logo here. I have all of my different services. I just have some images kind of showing kind of more branding stuff, I guess. But what's nice is that it's super easy for my customers. I can just link to this page. They can choose what time, what day, all of that good stuff, and they can also see how much it costs. Now I will say that you can charge these prices through Setmore. So if you don't want to use 17 Hats because you don't need all of that stuff, you can get a paid version of Setmore and actually charge people through here. So you can send them an invoice, they can pay with a credit card, and that's it. But I use 17 Hats for my bookkeeping. So if someone schedules a 30-minute consult, I then add them into 17 Hats and I send them an invoice before our meeting. And if they don't pay for it before our meeting, we don't have the meeting. So they can choose all this stuff, and then they can sign up with Facebook, Google, or Setmore if they have a Setmore account, or they can create a new profile, or you can choose an option to have them be able to skip the login. So you can just get their information instead of having them sign up. They have to agree to the cancellation policy, and you can set that to whatever you would like. And then they will confirm it. I'm not going to put my information in. But it's really nice because you can add more details about each of your services. So if you have 50 different services, you can add them all in here. And people can also leave you reviews. So after they've had a talk with you, you can give them a link to this page and they can leave your review. One thing I should mention, you can also create a custom domain name. So mine is noraconrad.setmore.com. If you have a paid version, you can set that to whatever you want. So if you want it to be noraconradmeetings.com, you can do that. All of this stuff you can do through the back end of Setmore. There's a ton of integration options. You can add a form directly to your website, which I show you how to do in the blog post, so I'm not going to go over that now. You can install it on your Facebook page. If you use WordPress, you can have the WordPress plugin for it. Zendesk, Joomla, Wix, Weebly, Drupal, never heard of that, but you can connect it with all of that stuff. You can also connect it to Google Analytics, so if you want to track it through there, you can do that. And then MailChimp, this is what I use. So when someone signs up for a class or a consult, they will be sent to the correct mailing list. You can also share your Instagram images on your actual booking page. So if you want to show images relating to your business, if you're like a designer and you want to show your designs, you can definitely do that. There's just a ton of options in here. When you go into settings, there's even more stuff. So you can add staff. If you have 8 different designers working for you, all of them can have their own separate page. You can add descriptions, work hours for each staff, breaks, time off. And this is also where you can edit all of your services, how much those services cost. You can edit images. And this is also where you can do classes. So this is the class I set up that you're in right now. All kinds of stuff. It's super flexible. Like I said, there's a ton of options to customize it to your needs, and it's just a really good program all around. I really like it. And since I started using it, it's just made my whole process so much simpler. It is a lot to get used to, but honestly, the best way to kind of set it up is just to make a free account and dig into it and just set it up as though you're going to use it, even if you're not sure if you're going to. And just kind of mess around in it, see what you can do. There's a lot of stuff. I still don't even know how to do some of it. And with a paid account, you can do even more. But it's really nice. I really like it, and it looks really nice for my customers. Okay, let's see what's next. Next we'll talk about like the actual meeting. So everyone likes to meet different ways. I've done phone calls, FaceTime, Skype, Google Plus. We are using Google Plus right now to film this. I think I always try to talk someone into Google Plus. Every single time I have a client, that's the first thing I suggest to them. Because with Google Plus, you can screen share like what I'm doing. You can add chat, you can share links, you can add like a little description bar, which doesn't work on my computer for some reason, so I can't do that. But most importantly, the whole chat is recorded. So you can share the link with your clients later, and they can rewatch it as many times as they want. This is so helpful for consultations. When you're talking to someone about their business and it's just kind of a back and forth, a lot of times they're not taking notes. I do take notes because I send that file to them after, but a lot of my clients have like no idea what we talked about, or they forget what they asked, or exactly what I said. So being able to rewatch that is extremely helpful. And it's really nice if you had a consultation 6 months ago and you rewatch it and you realize how much you've grown. That's another great thing. I like rewatching my consultations because I can see how I've grown as a consultant and see like how my advice has gotten better and how I've gotten better at actually talking to people, and I've become more comfortable being in front of a camera. So yeah, it's really nice. If you're not comfortable in front of a camera, you just gotta suck it up, just practice. I guess I've been making YouTube videos for like 4 or 5 years, so just doing that every week has made me extremely comfortable in front of everyone. But even now, it took me a while to get used to talking to a bunch of people at once. Like these webinars made me so nervous when I first started. I still get nervous before them. So you just gotta practice and just do them, and you'll get more and more used to it as you work through it. So I'm going to show you how to use Google Hangouts. There's a ridiculous amount of stuff that you can do with them. So I'm just going to show you the most basic way to set it up and to be able to then share the link afterwards. So I'm in Google Hangouts right now. I'm going to screen share my actual Hangout window, and it's going to like do crazy things. So just ignore that. I'm just going to try to do this quick because it's super distracting. But let's try this. Okay, so this is the actual, whoa, there we go. This is the actual Google Hangouts window. As you can see, it's super obnoxious. So over on the left here, you have all of these different tools that you can use. And if you hover over these dots, you can add additional tools and apps and all that good stuff. Excuse me. So this is where you can add a chat box. You can take screenshots of it. You can kind of edit your camera. Ooh, there we go. All of that good stuff. This is also how you screen share by clicking on this. And all kinds of great stuff like that. Okay, let's stop this nonsense because that's so obnoxious. That drives me crazy. So that's the actual like Hangouts window. But the best way to set up a Hangout, you can do it through Hangouts on Air. So if you just Google that, it'll pop up. But I really prefer setting it up through YouTube. So if you don't have a YouTube channel before you start consulting, you should make one. It doesn't have to be public. You don't have to do any videos. But making one will just make it so much easier to share those videos with your clients. So let's screen share again. And I'm going to show you my YouTube channel. So if you go into YouTube and you go to your channel and click on Video Manager, you can actually create a live event. And this is how I created this event right now. So if you click on Live Events, you can create a new live event. And we'll just make this an example. Okay, so you can either schedule it for later or you can do it right away. But doing it through YouTube will allow you to type in a description for your video. You can add tags beforehand. You can add monetization. You can have live chat. You can change all of these settings basically. The most important thing is that you can make the video unlisted. What this will do is not show your video on YouTube unless someone has a direct link to it. So another way to do that is changing it to private, which means only you and whoever you invite will be able to see it. This is what I use for my consultations. I just type in their email address and they'll be invited to view it. And then afterwards, I usually change the video to unlisted so that way they can come back and view it whenever. That way, if they're not logged in with their email, it's not a big deal. Once you are ready, you can click Go Live Now if it's right away. Or if you schedule it for later, you can create the event. Oops. Let's create it in the future. Create event. And then it will basically save it for later. That way, all you have to do when it's time to actually do the meeting is go back into your live events and click right here, Start Hangout on Air. And that will open up that little Hangout box I showed you. Ooh, this box. And you will be able to talk with a person and they can join super easily. You can choose to let them talk, or if you're doing like a webinar like this, you can choose to only have it be you talking. So I think that's everything. I feel like I'm missing something, like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. I think that's it though. So I'm just gonna do Q&A now. So let me switch down really quick. Okay, so there are two questions. So Maria asked, do you use Asana? And I do use Asana. I know that Asana and 17 Hats look sort of similar. I used to use Asana for the thing that I use 17 Hats for now, but it just wasn't as pretty, I guess. And you can't do any kind of bookkeeping or invoicing or any of that stuff in there. So that's kind of why I switched. But I still do use Asana for planning projects. So anytime, every single blog post I write, I plan it in Asana. I make the outline in there and then I print it out and use it as reference as I type it. So Asana is still a huge tool for me. It's just not really involved in the actual client process. Even though I do have workflows in 17 Hats, so like you guys saw, you choose when to send the review, and all that stuff. You can add like check boxes of like things to do. So if I was doing a consultation, I would make a checkbox for create an outline. But in Asana, I plan that further. I actually create that outline in Asana because you can print it out. You can export it as a PDF file. What am I saying? So that's kind of how I use Asana with 17 Hats. It's not necessary, so that's why I didn't really go into it. And I use it for a ton of stuff. I use it for workouts, for school projects, for everything. So that's kind of why I didn't talk about it. But if you want me to go more into that, let me know and I can do that. It's just kind of a whole monster on its own. So maybe I'll do something separate on Asana because it really is a great tool. Okay, and then Kaylee asked, how do you use 17 Hats in connection with Evernote? They seem to have similar uses. So if you guys know me at all, you know that Evernote is like my go-to. Evernote is like my online brain. I use it for everything. I store emails in there, pictures. I plan blog posts. I write things. I use it as a diary. I use it as a planner. But I don't use it for client stuff as much. When I first started design work, so like branding, I used Evernote, but it just, I don't know, it's not as clean. It's hard to teach my clients how to use it, I guess. Or with 17 Hats, they don't need to learn anything, they just do it. So I guess that's kind of why I don't use Evernote anymore. I still use Evernote for everything else, but really it's more of a storage thing and not a task or a workflow thing. Does that make sense? That was kind of a weird answer. I'm sorry. Yeah, I still love Evernote. I just don't use it for client workflow because I think 17 Hatch just the way that it integrates everything together works better for me. But obviously, if you don't want to use 17 Hats, Evernote and Asana work together fantastically. So you can use that instead. It's fantastically a word. I just thought of that. I think it's a word. Yeah, so you can use that if you want, but it's just not, it doesn't work as well for me. I still use it for storage. So anytime I make like a banner for someone or a logo, I have a folder for each of my clients and I store all of our emails. I store a copy of our invoice in there. I store all of the images, and that's kind of so that way I can work from any computer because I'm using Evernote. So I guess I kind of use it. It's just not for the actual workflow. It's more for storage and backup. So hopefully that answered the question. I forgot to click start answering, so sorry guys. All right. I know that the video is a little lagged and behind, so I'm just gonna wait a moment. You guys ask me anything, even if it's about like your website specifically, or you can ask me about your logo, your website design. Just put a link to your website in the chat box. I'll start watching it. And yeah, I'll do reviews on your website if you want me to. If you have a question about anything, about why my hair is always in a bun, or what's my favorite color, just ask. Those are kind of weird questions. Maybe don't ask those, but ask me anything. You can ask me in the chat box now. I'll be watching it. So ask me there or ask me in the little answer question and topic area down below the video. I'll keep an eye on both of those. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to take a moment. Ah! My beer is like leaking water. And yes, it's only 2:30 and I'm drinking beer. But it's my Friday, so no judgment, kids. Just waiting for this video to actually catch up with what I'm saying live. Olivia said I'm obsessed with Asana. Me too. I love Asana. I love Asana. And Kaylee said, I love that Google YouTube hack for clients. I do too. If you only use Google Hangouts like alone to set it up, there's not as many options. and you can't like edit the description of the video or tags or anything like that until after it is done and published. So kind of using that is a little helpful. Sasha said you're a boss. Thanks. Oh, get my drink on. I'm not an alcoholic, I swear. So Red's Apple Ale. It's like one of the few beers I actually like. So Kaylee said it's kind of clunky. I'm assuming she means Evernote, and it is. Evernote is great if you set it up right. If you use tags, if you have like a good notebook system and good way of taking notes, Evernote is fantastic. But if you don't have anything set up or you're just throwing stuff in there randomly, it's kind of a mess. My family is texting me. We're supposed to drop our cat off because we're going on vacation, and they're freaking out, wondering when I'm going to drop my cat off. So, priorities, you guys. Oh, and if you guys have any questions, like if you're watching this webinar later, or if we end this webinar and you think of a question, just use the hashtag ConradChat, and I will be checking that and answering your guys' questions and all that good stuff. Let's see. You guys are hilarious. I love having a chat box. It's great. Okay, you guys, don't be shy. Like, ask me anything that you can think of. Even if it has nothing to do with this webinar, that's totally fine. I don't mind. And leave links to like your social media and stuff. I'd love to like connect with all of you guys. Let's see. Sasha said, do you link the download you send for free in MailChimp as well? Okay, so that's kind of a complicated system that I have set up, I guess. She said, like, when I sign up for something and it sends automatically, how are you attaching that to send automatically? So I do use MailChimp, but the problem is that with MailChimp, you can only send one thing. So everyone gets that one thing. However, you can set it up in Squarespace to send them something, or I guess to give them a link to download something right away. So I have a video on that. I will find it and I'll link to it in that chat box for you, Sasha. It's kind of a weird process, and if you don't have Squarespace, I don't know how to do it. I think you can use SumoMe, SUMOME, to do kind of the same thing. But if you need any help with it, just email me or tweet me or whatever, and I can help you out. It's not super complicated. It's just kind of a whole thing. It's a whole tutorial. So it'll be easier for you to watch the video I already made. Let me find that now. And while I look for that, Morgan asked, how long have you been consulting and what got you into it? Okay, so before I did consulting, first I had a lifestyle blog. Then I decided that I want to blog about business more. I started business school. It was what I was interested in, and I wanted to help people in business. So that's when I switched to Nora Conrad. And it wasn't really until I switched to Nora Conrad, which was, I think, in March this year or April this year, that I started consulting. So I was doing it kind of before, but it wasn't official. Like, I didn't have contracts or invoices. I was just consulting with family and friends and people I connected with, and kind of doing that stuff. So I guess consulting is pretty recent. But what got me into it mostly was that right now I'm in college for marketing. I'm studying business marketing. So doing that got me into it. I realized that like I'm paying for this huge education and I wasn't really using it for anything. So I would love to be a consultant like later on. That would be my dream job. So that's kind of why I want to start it. I want to start building a portfolio and talking to people and get better at it. So that way, once I'm done with school, I have a job set up, I guess. Let's see. Olivia said, I used your guide to Evernote to get it set up, and I absolutely love it. Thank you. Yeah, so if you guys didn't know that, or if you want to know about Evernote, I have a blog post on that. I will link to that in the chat box too. Sorry, I'm trying to find links here while talking. It's just, I'm not a good multitasker. Yeah, so Evernote is fantastic. If you've never tried it, you need to try it. And if you've already tried it, you need to try it again. Having like an actual system set up for it, you'll love it. I mean, I think I tried Evernote 3 times before I actually started using it. And now that I do, it is like the best tool in the entire world. So give it another try. I have a whole guide on it, so try it with my guide. If you still hate it, tell me and you can blame me for it. That's fine. Okay, so here's the Evernote guide. I'll link to that right now. And then let me find this video. I have too many videos on YouTube. I am so sorry. No wonder you guys can't find anything. Here it is. Okay, so Sasha, here is the link for the video. Okay, Jaden, I've been calling you Olivia. Your name is Jaden Olivia. I'm so sorry. I totally knew that too. I'm just having one of those days. Okay, so she asked, what are some of your favorite websites? I'm not really sure what you mean, like tools and resources or like blogs. So I guess for tools, Evernote, Asana, MailChimp, 17 Hats. I use Gmail for everything. Those are like the best tools. Oh, and IFTTT. It's if this, then that. If you don't know what that is, Google it right now. It's like going to become your new best friend. So those are like my favorite tool websites. But like just for fun, Pinterest is a slight obsession. And when I say slight, I mean major. Like I probably need therapy for it. And Bloglovin. Bloglovin is like a feed. So it's like an RSS feed, so you can read all your blogs on there. I follow a ridiculous amount of blogs. Some of my favorite bloggers, I guess, are Mariah Cause from Femtrepreneur. I have a rough time saying that. Femtrepreneur. It's like entrepreneur and feminism mixed together. She has a great blog. You guys should check that out. jennypurr.uk, or I think it's .co.uk. She has a great blog. Byregina.com. She is like, you know what? Back to the other question. Byregina.com is what made me realize I can actually become a consultant before I have my degree. Like, she is such an inspiration. She's on my to meet list before I die. I want to hang out with her. I want to be her best friend. So those are some of my favorite websites. Recently, I've got into some Facebook groups that are amazing. Savvy business owners. What's the other one? Crap, I can't remember now. I will link to those too. We just started our own Facebook group, and when I say we, I mean like me and 4 other people. And I will link to that because if you guys want to join, it's free. We just talk about stuff. So if you have more questions, ask us there because there's a ton of awesome ladies in there right now. We're trying to grow it a little more, get some more chitter chatter. So yeah. Let me switch over to that Facebook group and I'll link to that for you guys. Let's see. Sasha, yes, by Regina. She is amazing. If you guys haven't checked out our website, she has so much information. You guys need to like dig through it. Okay, Kaylee, I'm trying to set up services to offer, and I'm thinking about offering business organization, helping others organize their business and get everything organized. How do you suggest I go about offering that? Okay, so to start out, like I said, one of the best things to do is build an email list. Offer something that has to do with those services. So maybe make like a 5-page ebook about like your best organization tips and offer that as an incentive to sign up for your email list. That way you're getting people who are actually interested in those kinds of things and you're getting their emails. So when you start launching your services, those are people who are actually interested in what you're talking about. So start with that and then just really focus. Kaylee, I know you already blog about this stuff, but just focus on blogging about that specifically. So go really in depth, blog about some great tools that you love for organization, blog about some of the things that you would give people ideas for. I seriously believe that when you give stuff away for free, that probably people would pay for, it's good karma. Like, I don't even know if I believe in karma, but that's just good karma. Like, when someone sees that you're giving away great stuff for free, when you have services, they know that they can expect really good things from you. So if I didn't offer anything for free, I just had a website that was like, I do consulting, no one would want to work with me because no one has any idea of what I do, how I do it, or how good I am at it. But I have an entire blog dedicated to stuff about my consulting services and things that I consult on, so they know what to expect and they know like how much I know about certain topics. So start out with those two things. Just get your name out there, start building an audience of people who are interested in that. And then just set up a really basic page on your site, just talking about your services, have a contact form, and then start trying to figure out some price points. Honestly, the best pricing strategy I would give is saying, work at what you feel comfortable working. So find like what point you would be happy at. So if someone said, I'll give you $50 to work for an hour and do this, would you be happy, or would you kind of be bummed that it's only $50? That's how you know where to price at. So for me, my services, my consulting services is $100 an hour, because that is where I work best. So if someone pays me $100 for an hour consultation, I have no problem going above and beyond for that person. I'll make an outline, I'll film the video, I'll edit the video, I will email them for a week after, giving them more ideas. $100 is where I work best and where I feel that it's a fair trade of services and time. So that's the best way to find that price point. But really just get your name out there, talk to people, start networking, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. I mean, it won't, but it'll be much easier. It's not like magic or anything. Yeah. Let's see. Let's get this Facebook group. Ow! I just smacked my computer. Okay, so our Facebook group is called the Boss Lady League. If you guys want to join up, just request it. Yeah. Even if you're not on Facebook that much, like, I hated Facebook before I joined groups like that. Oh, I love them now. Because anytime I have a question or I need, like, an opinion, instead of asking my fiance, who I love and cherish, but has no idea about any of this stuff, I can ask other ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's any guys in our group yet, but I can ask other people who already kind of know about that area. Let's make sure there are no other questions. Okay. So I don't see any other questions. If you guys have any more, ask them right now before I sign off. It's been 50 minutes now, so I don't want to go too much over an hour here. An hour is kind of a long time. You guys are awesome for sticking with me. Thank you. This is like my first big webinar that I've done by myself, so I was kind of nervous before, but I feel so much better now because you guys are actually talking to me. Oh yes, thank you, Sasha. Being Boss is another group you guys might like. I'm actually in Being Boss, so I will link to that page. You guys can ask to join. Actually, I don't know if it's open or not. Like, if you can just join or if you have to get permission. But Being Boss, they have a podcast that is amazing. If you guys don't listen to podcasts, I think you're crazy, and I love podcasts. But if you don't listen to any of them, you should be listening to Being Boss. Like, if that's going to be the one that you listen to, they're just awesome. And the ladies are so sweet and so helpful. So, and then Sasha said, I think it's really organized the way you stay on task and of the content you wanted. Thanks. Sorry, I can't read. I don't know. Maybe I skipped elementary school. Oh, and Kaylee just linked to another Facebook group, which is awesome. Sasha said podcasts are like the endless rides of Red Robin. Yes, they are. Podcasts, like, if you guys drive or commute anywhere that's more than 15 minutes, you need to get into podcasts. I know this kind of sounds spammy, but like Smart Passive Income from Pat Flynn is like the podcast that got me completely into blogging and making a business in the first place. He was a huge inspiration for me starting a business and starting it before I got a degree. So Smart Passive Income podcast, Being Boss podcast, the Influence podcast, I think that's what it's called. Build Your Tribe, the New Business podcast, Side Hustle, The Lively Show, and Make It Happen by Jenny are all amazing podcasts. So go get them. Let's see. Jaden says, the only thing I use Facebook for is business. I haven't even set up my profile. Me too. The only reason I still have a Facebook account is because we have a lot of family out of town, and that's kind of how we keep up. But even I made a business Facebook page, which I still don't really use very much. But since joining like these Facebook groups, I love Facebook again. They're amazing. And Sasha said that you don't even have to have like your Facebook profile. You can just download the Facebook group app, which is nice because you can kind of keep up with all the pages and people without like going on Facebook. So that's a great option. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm totally forgetting something, and I'm probably going to sign off and be like, oh yeah. But I cannot think of it now. And I even wrote down notes, and I still feel like I'm forgetting something. Okay, so we'll go for 5 more minutes. You guys just, anything you think will be helpful or any questions. If you want me to review your website, so just kind of give you like, you should change this, this is great, whatever, you can email me if you don't want me to do it publicly. My email is hello@noraconrad.com. Or if you want to be brave, I can do it live. I'll be nice, I promise. I won't be like, oh, it's ugly. But I will give you good criticism. Like, everyone can improve. I can improve. I know there's some parts of my website that like make me cringe when I look at them still. So if you want some advice on it, just let me know. I'll do that for all of you guys who are at this live. So for the next hour, I'll do website reviews. Yeah. And I think you guys are done asking questions. If you guys aren't already, I have a newsletter. I'm not trying to be like salesy. You guys don't have to sign up for this. I have a newsletter sign up on my website, and I send out free resources and stuff going over exactly these topics every Friday. This Friday will be no different. I have 3 free resources I'm going to be sending you guys. I don't like do any sales stuff or anything in my emails. I tell you guys about like new products I have and stuff like that, but I don't ever try to sell you other people's stuff or anything like that. So if you guys are interested or want more help with this kind of stuff, that's a good place to start. And you guys are always welcome to email me. I have free 15-minute consultation services. So if you guys want like me to help you with a specific problem, go sign up. We'll just chat for 15 minutes. You can ask me whatever pops in your brain, and I'll help you out. All right. I think that's going to be it. You guys are saying thank you. So thank you so much for watching, you guys, and for chatting. Oh, hold on. Sasha has one more. Do you recommend setting a website for every little thing we want to launch? I know that some people have a million websites for every little thing. Aside from that, thank you so much for being the bomb. Thank you, Sasha. Okay, so a lot of times what you see, especially, I'm going to use byregina.com. She seems like she has a million websites for like every web page. What they're probably doing is setting up a domain name for different services or pages, and it's still on the same website. If you use WordPress, there's like plugins that can do that. You do not have to set up something for everything. So like if you want to make an e-course and you want a custom domain name for it, that is awesome. Sometimes it's easier for people to remember your website if you do that. But a lot of times if someone's signing up for a class that you offer, or they want an ebook that you made or whatever it is, they're going to remember you and they're going to go through your website anyway. Personally, I think that if you're just starting out, it's a waste of money to buy domain names like that. If you have the money and you don't mind at all, buying those domain names can be really helpful for networking and for SEO purposes. So if you want your website bumped up on Google, that's a great way to do it. But if you're just starting out and you aren't sure if you should invest in that, I would say hold off. It's much better to focus on your one site and building that up than buying like 5 different sites and trying to build all 5 up. That also gets much easier if you have like a team or a virtual assistant that can kind of help you set that stuff up. But Sasha, if you have like a specific idea and you want like an actual, like if I tell you specifically if yours should be on a domain or not, just let me know and I can help you out with that. Or just shoot me an email and I can help you out with that. All right, you guys, it has been pretty much an hour. Like I said, if you're just hopping in or you want to watch this later, I will send everyone a link to this video. You guys can watch it. I'll leave it up for until I die or until this video dies. Other than that, you guys have a good weekend, and I won't be around because I'm going on vacation, but I will see you guys on Monday. There will be a new blog post on the blog about, what am I blogging about? I don't even remember now. Something exciting. All right, you guys. I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.